And it's Ken Kreitzer at the Direct Marketing Club of New York for CVSI Services. I have a chance to talk with Peter Blau. And Peter, it's an interesting presentation today by Bruce Beagle of the Winterberry Group. What were some of the points that caught your ear?
Well, obviously, the online advertising is growing by very high percents. But direct mail is still growing slightly, which is very surprising. At a very high base. We're talking about $45 million, $45 billion. So I think as a longtime integrated marketing person, I believe that people will generally get the best results with a combination of online and offline advertising. So as we're seeing companies from every walk of life, including all the major online brands, are using direct mail to target their desired customers, as well as online search and display advertising, as well as email. And another big surprise, teleservices, the dreaded telemarketing call, is still a huge growing industry, also in the $45 or so billion category. So that's pretty good news for those of us who have been promoting integration as opposed to this idea that zero-sum game, offline advertising is being consumed or cannibalized by online, not true.
Okay, and certainly one of his points is the challenge to marketers of presenting content across multiple platforms, from small mobile screens to tablets to laptops to televisions even. How do you see that? That's all part of integration, making content work as people are using different platforms, different devices all the time. I think I use 3 at one time some days. How do you see that working? What's the challenge for some of your clients?
Well, I think the challenge to the addressable advertising, whether it's online on the computer or over the set-top box, which I haven't seen yet, but supposedly is on the way. The challenge is that the advertising itself is a poor second cousin to traditional television advertising. The video you see when you're streaming on Hulu, for example, is horrible. You see the same 3 spots, across a 1-hour show. They're not terribly interesting commercials. So the whole secret is to make the user experience of watching the commercial or seeing the targeted message relevant and entertaining. That's not there yet.
Were there any key trends in 2016 that really stood out for you that will affect going into this year?
Good question. I do think one key trend is that offers are still incredibly powerful. And I'm not sure if you've been following the Chase Sapphire Preferred or Reserve, phenomenon, where the card is so popular because they're giving 100,000 points acquisition bonus that Chase had to write off $300 million in cost of fulfilling that offer. My entire family, including my kids, who theoretically, millennials, don't use credit cards, we're told. All 3 of my kids got this, who are all millennials, got this card and insisted I did, based on the fact that they respond to offers too, even offers that come in the mail sometimes. So I think that's a tremendous example of a trend. Again, financial offers are still very powerful. We see the financial sector of the economy still being incredibly strong, and post-election bounce in the stock market is heavily driven by the financial sector, the banks, the institutions that lots of people, including yours truly, like to criticize, is actually, still a big driver of the economy.
Yeah, Dow's not trying to get to that 20,000 mark. Maybe one of these sessions shortly. You've got an event coming up of your organization, Marketing Idea Exchange. You've done a tremendous job leading. Tell us a little bit about your event coming up.
Okay, it's on February 1st. It's at the New York Athletic Club. You can sign up for it by going onto a website called TheMix. .nyc, the mix without any punctuation .nyc, and it stands for Marketing Idea Exchange. And our event is a luncheon featuring a speaker named Jeffrey Bowman, who's the author of Reframe the Marketplace. And it's a fairly simple concept, but he's a very, very persuasive speaker and marketing thinker. The issue is that we're no longer two worlds of majority advertising and minority advertising. That within a few years, the majority of Americans will be composed of minority group members. And some of those minority group members, it's a very, very diverse group. The two largest growing segments of minority group members are Asian Americans, which probably isn't a surprise to anyone, and people who consider themselves of mixed race, two or more different racial groups. So these are groups that there aren't really that many ad agencies that specialize in it. And Jeffrey's going to talk about how he's not an advertising agency. He calls himself a business development platform, a business acceleration platform for what he calls total marketplace concept, which is the idea if you look at the new changed marketplace as a whole rather than individual segments, which really aren't relevant anymore now that there's so many different segments there. You can't possibly target to any individual ones. In any event, February 1st, Wednesday, New York Athletic Club luncheon. Go onto the website, www.themix.nyc.
Peter Blau, Customer Growth, great to see you here at the Direct Marketing Club of New York, and we'll look forward to that event.
Thank you, Ken.
Pleasure. Ken Kreitzer for CBSI Services of the Direct Marketing Club of New York.